What's going on, Tungoons? Your big homie Bopper. Now listen, bit of a change of pace. Hold up. In this video right here, you know me, I always got the music pumping. Always got the albums, the LPs, the EPs pumping. And nostalgia is on the way, May 29 on all DSPs. But now, I wanted to touch on the topic real quick. And this topic is basically about discovering yourself. It's kind of like in the same or along the same lines as retention or retention of yourself. Now, when you talk about this subject, a lot of people get confused. There's two types of retention. One type of retention is preserving your seed, preserving your semen as a man, your sexual energy. And the other type of retention is retaining yourself, your memories, your mannerisms, your personality, your childhood, your behavior, stuff, so on and so forth, like that. But now, I practice both types, but through the second type of retention, which I've been more keen on honing my skills at within the past maybe 8, 9 months, almost a year. Hold on, hold on. I've been able to reclaim old memories. I've been able to reclaim all of myself from the past, the future self that I want to become, and me right now in the present moment. All the way from when I was born to before I was preconceived to elementary school, middle school, high school, different towns, cities, and states that I've been in. I've really been studying myself. Now, sidebar, I studied three books. Three books: The 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction. Another side note, also read one chapter in the 33 Strategies of War and Machiavelli's The Prince. And I've memorized all of the material. Now, when you combine that with the retention of yourself, you start to realize a few things. And I researched it. Now, on there isn't much information on past lives or reincarnation or the lives that you might have lived or who you were before you had the life now. But upon conducting additional research through books, theoretical and practical knowledge, one could come to the conclusion that human beings do have past lives. Now, there's nothing psychotic about that. There's nothing strange about that. It's theoretical, but it's so practical as well that it could be concrete reality. And I look at my behavior, I look at my personality, I look at my narcissism and my other dark triad traits. I look at my facial expression, I look at my body language, and I look at the things that I've done as far as actions and events in my personal life. It's a lot of things that I've done that was very similar to other figures or other people throughout history. It could be from the 60s and 70s, it could be from the Middle Ages, 1400s, 1500s, very similar. But you look at people like Ezekiel from the Bible, or now the Bible, I just look at it more concretely, not in some superficial or supernatural being up in the sky. I don't believe that. I'm just looking at it concretely as a source of historical information. But you look at Ezekiel, you look at Jeffrey Dahmer, you look at Nikolai Machiavelli, the Greek. He was a mythical figure, but he actually existed and he's quoted and referenced in the Bible. Narcissists. These are the people who I believe personally that I had lived their lives prior to living this life as Bryce Johnson. Now, when I first started coming to these conclusions, I had to bypass all the distractions. When I first started coming to these conclusions, I felt to myself like, this can't be possibly right. This can't be accurate. But the more research you do, the more retention, the more world knowledge, the more theoretical and practical knowledge you have, the more you realize, like, you must have lived a life prior to this one. And it's not really that far-fetched. You look at vehicles. Vehicles were something that was like an imagination or something that was far fetched during the Middle Ages when they were using horses and buggies, or when they were using chariots or cannonballs and they invented guns and rifles. So it's really not that far fetched. I feel like if you discover yourself and sit with yourself, or just stand and smoke with yourself long enough, you start to realize that you must have lived a life prior to this one. And there's more people than that. I believe like Richard Ramirez, John Wayne Gacy in high school. I was always very in tune with serial killers and these mass murderers because they were narcissists themselves. Jeffrey Dahmer, narcissist. Richard Ramirez, pure psychopathy. John Wayne Gacy, both. Machiavelli, Machiavellianism. Ezekiel, he looks just like me in the face and everything. So, just to wrap things up, this is a bit of a long video, 6 minutes, but I do believe that I was these people and a few more, So I advise all my Tunguns to get in touch with yourselves, practice retention, both your sexual energy and the retention of yourself, and figure out who you were in a past life, and figure out where you come from. Trust me, it'll help you greatly. I've been able to get an apartment. I've been able to get a place. I've had vehicles, 2, 3 vehicles in my name. I've done a lot because I've had knowledge of self. But um, it's understandable. So all my tune goons get in tune with that. And I could reference other people as well, not just myself. Other people as well, like my mother, Janice Mays. I did some research. I believe I did an essay paper in high school on Planned Parenthood and abortion clinics in the black community. Now, again, I don't really emphasize too much about racial divides and all that. And even the theory of race is a man made construct, and it's something that human beings before the creation of America really didn't look too keenly at. But when you look at Margaret Thatcher, she kind of looks like my mother, Janice Mays. So that's another past life that she could have lived, and so on and so forth. So, Toon Goons, that's it. Your big homie Papa just dropping some gems. Do with it what you will. I can give a fuck less. But I'm in a good mood now. I kind of calmed down from the earlier video. Just don't have anybody in my crib. Don't want anybody in my crib. And I'm just handling my own business, doing my own thing. So, Toon Goons, tap in, brace yourselves for nostalgia, and that's it. Yeah.